past year, Buckinghamshire Healthcare NHS Trust has accelerated changes to meet the healthcare needs of its residents, focusing on improving services and ensuring they're delivered by the right professionals at the right time and in the right place.
So the ethos is that we want to see patients, we want to make sure that they are in the right place, get the right care by the right people, and that we do it as efficiently as possible.
You'll have your initial assessment, quite often we'll discharge from there. They get referred on quickly to the appropriate team or to the appropriate assessment area. So again, you can decongest a bit of ED if you need to. The patients get seen in a timely manner by the most senior person within the department. And so what was important for us was actually to make the journey as kind of short and focused as it needs to be. I think that's what we've managed to achieve really well. What has been really helpful with Flow is the emergency medicine receiving unit that opened up at the end of last year. I think our revolutionary thing that we've done different to everybody else is the way we introduced a CDU clinician. In CDU, for example, before we started this new process, used to get 15 to 20 at the very most patients in a day. We're now getting anywhere between 40 to 70. So a really significant amount of flow.
We have now started amalgamating far better into the emergency care pathways, the kind of exit strategies out of ED. So hospital at home, the birth team, which are looking after their patients with respiratory problems and oxygen, home oxygen and so on. And then the frailty STEC team and the kind of frailty hospital to home, MUDAs, all of that. We have the React service where we have autism physios are assessing patients who are elderly and making sure that they're safe to be discharged home. And all of that as an integrated multidisciplinary team means that we don't have to admit all the patients to hospital and we can manage them at home. And that actually has made a big difference.
For us, having patients send in so many compliments, you'd have all these complaints. Our complaints have gone down by about 30%, which is great. But the number of compliments that I get thrown at us from the governance team is just so nice.
The service was set up because so many people were coming into surgery not ready for their surgery. So many people were coming, there was cancellations on the day for high blood pressures, out of control diabetes, things like that, and a lot of people with quite high inflated BMIs or low BMIs that were a risk factor when coming in for surgery. They were seeing longer hospital stays, particularly after surgery. I think a lot of these things were put down to more lifestyle medicine. The health coaching was brought in to support with that.
Since coming to you, I've managed to lose, in total, I've lost 4 stone. Obviously, I know you remember when I first come to you, you always tell me that I said I'd never do exercise, and now I go to Zumba twice a week. I've got a boxing machine.
So health coaching is so important because it's a completely different approach. It's empowering people, it's increasing their health literacy, it's giving people the skills to help themselves.
I feel better in myself, and it's just, I'm so thankful for this service. People at work have said to me, I seem so happier.
I'm hoping to just ace it and get straight through, have a couple of nights in ICU and go straight to the ward, is what I'm hoping.
The stroke bridging service was funded by NHS England through Squire, which is the Stroke Quality Improvement Service. Prior to the bridging service, if somebody has a stroke within Bucks, they go to the early supported discharge team for 6 weeks. Then if they need further rehab on from that, they then have approximately 4-month wait until they go to the community neuro rehab team. The aim of the bridging service was to bridge the gap between those two services to reduce the wait for the stroke patients within Buckinghamshire, so people were able to have a seamless recovery journey for their stroke, which is something that we haven't had before in Bucks. We had the privilege of being able to work on things that were really important to the patients, like walking the dog, We were able to get some of our patients writing again. Some of them were able to use the computer. We had a young lad who was able to get back to playing the piano, getting out on a bike, all things that were so important to the patients. We've got 65% of our patients back to work. Over 70% have shown an improvement in their stroke recovery and their quality of life. We've reduced the wait through the funding by 50%, and we've been able to reduce the amount of onward referrals to the community neuro rehab team because patients have achieved their goals.
So I became a grandfather in December, and I've been able to hold the baby. And at one point I wouldn't have been able to do that.
The main benefits of Badgernet is that we are doing a massive reduction in paper of around 95%. This means that all our data is going to be in one place and easy to collect. Previously we've struggled to get data from community because it's all been on paper, so it's going to help us build a health inequalities dashboard that we will use to track our outcomes and our complication rates a lot closer. All your information is one place, so it gets rid of that paper as well, so the women aren't going to be holding their big chunky purple folders anymore. They're going to have all their information on one app, and it's called Badger Notes, and we help support them with the use of that as well. We are also running a side-by-side project with the Good Things Foundation, and it's all around digital inclusion, so we're able to gift free SIMs and free devices to women for the duration of their pregnancy to make sure that they have access to all this information and they're not left behind. Badgernet has really helped us as midwives to be able to provide care to women. We have all the information right there, and it also supports our women to be more involved in their care, so giving them that empowerment.
It's very easy to follow and easy to use, so if you have forgotten something such as, when your next appointment is booked or what was discussed at the appointment that you just had, you can literally just flick onto the app and find out what was said.
Nursing for care leavers post the age of 18 isn't typically funded through the NHS. The Children Looked After nursing team here at BHT thought creatively and reached out to Q Exchange, and we were awarded £40,000 to run this pilot transition nurse project from November of last year. The Staying Close project has now worked with 50 care leavers across Buckinghamshire, and we are really trying to promote a flexible and proactive preventative health service for them in the community. So really allowing the care leaver to recognise what their health needs are and be able to support them to access the right services for that. Not only providing that health support to them, but also enabling them to recognise who is the right professional to go to and how to go about that as they move into adulthood. The project has shown really great successes, both from the young people and from multi-agency professionals who have worked alongside the care leavers and the Staying Close project.
For somebody like me with ADHD, learning difficulties and so on, having that one point of contact is another stress relief. I think when you're dealing with the NHS, there's so many different professionals involved. For an average 21-year-old, they have mom and dad to do that. Because of Nelly, I'm able to coordinate my care in such an easy scaffolding way that it doesn't collapse me.
What we hear a lot is that care leavers are extremely grateful for being able to have a central point of contact, one person in the health system who they can turn to easily and flexibly, who can then support them with their health, who isn't restricted by time limits on appointments, who can visit them at home or out in the community where they feel most comfortable. And being able to do that enables them to feel listened to and heard, and then helps them to build confidence to manage their health more independently.
Just a taste of how we're changing the way we work at BHT to meet the healthcare needs of our residents and communities. Throughout all the digital innovations and new ways of delivering care, our amazing colleagues, volunteers and partners are constantly learning and adapting to make sure we continue to provide the best possible care 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We want to celebrate our BHT family and all who support them and say a massive thank you.